On Nationwide this evening, getting out and about in the southeast. Using Tramore as a base, we visit places and see the sights of this part of County Waterford. We meet all kinds of Waterford people whose interests are wide and varied, from nature to crafts. And we see something of the character of the people of the Dacia. You're very welcome to Nationwide and to Waterford's coastal region, where this evening we'll be visiting some of the lesser known gems in the area, including beautiful beaches, boglands and much more besides. Just outside the seaside town of Tramore is the tiny village of Fenner. And for such a small little place, there's an awful lot going on. I've come along to meet John Hayes, a member of the local community who's doing something that really benefits the people here. John! Hello, John! How are you? Have you got a moment?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. How are you?
What are you doing here?
I shot enjoying the sun and a small bit of carving, wood carving with a chainsaw.
This is a work in progress, John, so what's the plan?
Well, I suppose I'm going to keep going at it as we are. I done the three angels, as you can see on the top, and there's one kneeling down on the backside. And I'm doing the Holy Spirit then just below it. It was a story me nannies told me, Nanny Essie and May, and me granddad Johnny gave me my first carving chisel. And they always said you're guardian angels, so I suppose subliminally it went into my head, and that's where the angels came from. The tree was to be demolished, and I just thought it was an awful shame, and being part of the community and involved in it so much, I asked the parish council would they let me have a go. So they did.
You are a joiner by trade, but have you always been interested in sculpture?
Yeah, I suppose from a young age, from cutting my mother's worktop with the bread knife, getting in trouble. I always loved working with my hands. It was just something that my brain seemed to work three-dimensionally. I was never great in school, left very early, but always loved making things.
And this is your method of sculpture here, a very small chainsaw, John.
Yeah, it's I suppose to Ireland it's fairly new. There's only about 5 of us in the country doing it, I suppose. But it originated about back in the 70s. It started when the machinery became better and artists started taking it up and actually carving sculptures, and I kind of specialised. And
what about the broader community here? How have they been responding to your work here?
That's probably the nicest thing, is that I thought it might be just people that are very religious in a sense that would like the statues and stuff, but I think maybe it's because of the angels. They have an affinity with people, and they have a great affinity with Our Lady and the Holy Spirit, but they just come along, they seem to like it. And I'm after getting some lovely things and flowers left there and tins of varnish left there.
Lovely.
So yeah, I'm surprised and enjoying it at the same time.
And when will it be fully completed, John?
In some cases people say never, because they keep asking me to do more. But I'm hoping within the next month or so I kind of bring it to its end. But it is that. Yeah, it was a great opportunity. And
what do you personally get from doing a piece of sculpture like this in a graveyard?
I tell you, how I fell into it was, as I said, I was a joiner, hadn't a lot happening at the time, and found myself getting a little bit kind of, I suppose, down in a way. Met John Supple in the Man Valley, and he talked to me about back to work scheme, and I said to him, could I do something a bit different? Picked up a chainsaw and gave it a go, and then John helped me go to Quilcha and get trained with the help of the lads on the scheme. And from that point of view, what started out, I suppose, saving a tree, is really after saving me in a way. But it genuinely makes me feel great. I just love it.
Some comfort is.
Well, for such a small village, there really is an awful lot going here, and just a stone's throw away is Waterford's first nature reserve. Rita Byrne, fill me in, please, on the wilderness here.
Well, what we have here is a fen, and it's an alkaline fen. It took 10,000 years to make it what it is. It was cut away bog up to 120 years ago, so now it's regenerating. It's an area of absolute magnificent biodiversity. We have, at one count, we had about 300 species of plants and 400 of animals. That's beetles as well as bugs and butterflies and things.
And the wildlife here and the landscape enjoyed by the local community,
It's
children,
magnificent.
families.
Yes, we bought the community bought the bog in 1999, and we discovered that it was being visited by people, but because it is a very dangerous area because of the water, we put a boardwalk. Now the boardwalk is made from recycled plastic, so that means it's very safe for the environment. It's also safe for children and all the rest. And it's used by schools, it's used by the universities, it's used by the Regional College in Waterford, and by the Biodiversity Centre in Carriganore in Waterford. And they're all the time doing projects and doing research on it.
And great to take full advantage of it in a day such as this, which is wonderful weather.
And the national schools, it's marvellous for national schools and secondaries as well. So all of the local schools use it, for their environmental sciences and just for a walk.
This region really does have a diverse range of activities on offer, and recently we went out to Kilfarracy Beach, not far from here, where we took a guided tour, but one with a difference.
Goes in the water of the rock pool, sun goes in the water of the rock pool, sun goes in the water of the rock pool, sun, and the boats are in for winter.
Folks, you're really welcome here today to Kilfarracy Beach. We're on the eastern end of the Copper Coast stretch of Waterford coastline. As children, we were always given seaweed. I grew up about a mile from here, so we would have had carrageen, slowcon, dillisk. I have to say that as children we weren't huge fans. It was all very nutritional and very noble, but not very tasty. And then I did a seaweed cookery course about 9 years ago and discovered really new ways to use seaweed. And it was an eye-opener, and I began experimenting myself. My own children were teenagers at the time. They were turning their noses up at seaweed. So I developed ways of hiding seaweed in their food, and I developed ways of really incorporating seaweed into our everyday cooking. Seaweeds are they're regarded as a nutrient-dense food. They're very high in protein, but they're low in calories. They're high in fibre, so they're very good for digestive health. They also have very high levels of micronutrients in them. So the trace elements such as iodine, iron, calcium, magnesium, manganese, zinc, copper, all of those are found to varying extents really, depending on the species of seaweed. So there's really nothing really not to recommend them in the diet. Just snip it away. I set up as the sea gardener about 2 years ago. I wrote a book on seaweed foraging and cookery called The Sea Garden. We've got about 4 public forages dates that are set up for this summer, mainly along the Waterford coast, but we'll also be in Cork. We'll be in Inishbofin at their food festival. We'll be at Dungarvan Food Festival in April. And people can book to come on one of those. Or if people are around for a weekend with their families and they just want to go on a private forage, we will do that for them as well. The only thing that we're dependent on is tides. So once we can find a time at low tide, we can bring people out and show them what to gather. We've got a group of people here today in Kilfarracy Beach who are learning how to forage. So they're learning how to identify the species that are edible, the tastiest ones, how to use them, how to store them when they bring them home. They're also identifying what parts of the beach they'll find different seaweeds on, and also how to harvest them sustainably. In other words, they're not taking the plants off the rocks indiscriminately. They're cutting off maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of each plant with the scissors, and they're taking that away. We've got a really good range of seaweeds here on the Waterford coast. We've got, I would say, what I call the top 10 edible species. So we've got a few different kinds of kelp. We have a few different kinds of racks. And then we have what I would consider the finer seaweeds, the dillisk, the sea lettuce, the pepper dulse, the softer ones that you can use really in salads and sandwiches. You can use them really straight from the rocks.
Well, I really enjoy being at the sea. I think the day that I was in it, the spring equinox, and I just find that the sea gives you vitality, gives you an energy, really uplifts you. The sun shining as well is an extra bonus. And I'm also interested in picking seaweed and using it within my cooking at home.
Okay, so now that we've gathered our seaweed, we can have a look at how to use it. And what I normally do is bring along some samples of dishes cooked with seaweed, or we cook up here on the beach.
I'm sure it's just wonderful being out in the fresh air, and Marie is just so informative. She's so passionate about what she does. It really transfers, and you just couldn't but be interested. And I love the sea anyway, so it's just really, really, really nice. And I have an underactive thyroid, so the iodine in the seaweed is really, really good for me as well.
A little bit of zinc, vitamin B12, and
so having picked the pepper dillisk and dillisk with Marie on the rocks over there just a few minutes ago, this is the dried version of it now. It's really nice to taste it on the blah with the butter. It's actually delicious and something I'll definitely try again.
The clock is ticking, not long before we dig in. Gonna be finger licking.
And the book evolved from the forages because people were asking for recipes and tips for cooking. So that ended up in the book. And then when I was promoting the book, I was making recipes from it, and people liked them and they were asking where they could buy them. And eventually it dawned on me that it might be easier for people to actually buy products with seaweed in them. So there are people who will go, they'll forage like we did today, and they'll cook their own. There are other people who want to maybe be able to buy something that seaweed is already added to. So that's what I'm now doing. I'm making a range of healthy snack bars and capanatas with seaweed in them.
She's a regular magician when she's cooking up a storm.
So we always like to support local suppliers here, and it's part of what we do in Supervalue. And when we heard Marie was local, we were delighted to get on board and eager to get on board. So we stocked it on the shelves. Marie came in and did tastings, and once she did the tastings, customers really got engaged and loved the product.
They're really nice, actually. I didn't think there was seaweed in them or anything. Like, if you asked me to eat seaweed, I'd be like, no, you're all right, thanks. But they are actually really nice.
This product came about because I'd been making this for my own son, who was playing a lot of sport and needed a bar with a good level of protein in it. And a lot of the bars that he was using were very artificial. So we developed the recipe, and it takes a bit of time just to play around with stuff and to know which kind of seaweed works best in it. So yeah, it's very satisfying at this stage to be in my local supermarket, and I think it's very beneficial as well to meet customers and to meet people who've tried them and who are tasting them and to get their feedback.
But don't be late, she's cooking up a storm.
And seaweed foraging seems like a great way to spend a couple of hours if you're rambling along the shore. Now join us after the break when we'll be finding out about the new National Lifeguard Training Centre, which is based here in Tramore. We'll also be driving around the coastline to see what else is on offer to do and to see here. So we'll see you in a few minutes. You're very welcome back to Nationwide. We're here on the wonderful Waterford coast on the sands of Tramore Beach. Tramore Bay lies beneath the watchful gaze of the Metal Man. He stands on one of 3 pillars erected above Newtown Cove to guide ships away from the treacherous rocks below. But beneath the golden sand on this very beach lies a collection of ships that over hundreds of years were not so fortunate and met their fateful end here in Tramore Bay. By and large, these shipwrecks are covered over by the sand, but every now and again, after severe storms, perhaps combined with low tides, these wrecks become exposed. And we were lucky to capture them after the storms of last year. And And there you have history preserved under the sands here at Tramore Beach. Now recently Tramore has been in the headlines, but for all the right reasons, and it's to do with saving lives, because this is the location for the National Lifeguard Training Centre. Buddy Cudahy is the coordinator, and I'm about to meet him. Nice to meet you, Buddy.
Hi, Anne. More than welcome to the sunny southeast, Tramore.
Thank you very much. How did this resource come about?
It came about primarily by amalgamation of agencies. Waterford County Council at the time, Irish Water Safety and Leader Partnership. And it's the benefits to the local community from the building now. That's the plus moving forward.
But this does have a national remit.
It's a national training centre for beach guards. There was none in Ireland. Now that we have it, it's fantastic for the kids in Tramore. The club itself has a membership of 140 children, from nippers all the way up to masters.
And what is it about the bay here along the beach at Tramore that is suitable for training lifeguards?
Well, Tramore is a very safe bay. It's a very flat beach. The winds are south-southeast, which gives us a warm climate coming up from the Gulf Stream. We have a lot of sunshine in the sunny southeast. And it's a safe bay to teach lifeguards and actually to teach our nippers, because our young kids start as young as 8 years of age, as you can see running around behind me here.
They certainly do. They're very athletic. So about how many students would qualify each year as lifeguards, and how far afield is their qualification recognised?
To date, we would be qualifying around 30 lifeguards per annum. We would hope to double, if not triple that, with the new facility. The qualification, the Irish qualification that they will receive now from Irish Water Safety has worldwide recognition, so the kids can work anywhere in the world with the qualification.
And it's a great landmark building now to have on the promenade here.
It is, because what we try to achieve, when people would ask us where it is, we could comfortably say when you see it, you'll know it.
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic. Leaving Tramore Bay, I'm heading around Brownstown Head on the way to the village of Dunmore East. And there, I'm going to meet a man who is passionate about what this county has to offer.
The sun is shine down.
Paul, it's really nice to meet you.
How are you, Anne? Welcome to Waterford.
Thank you very much. You are a man who is passionate about your own county, even though you are a city man.
Yes, I am, I have to say that. I just love everything that Waterford has to offer, from the mountains to the sea, from the east coast to the west. Absolutely fantastic.
And here we are in lovely Dunmore East.
Beautiful Dunmore East at the mouth of the Waterford estuary, yes, absolutely fantastic. And I mean, when you look at it from here with the view today, and up around Passage East and on the Cheek Point, and even right up into Carrick-on-Sugar, I mean, what we have here is just absolutely fantastic.
Now, you are the man behind Waterford in Your Pocket, Paul, and tell me, how did that come about?
The reason why I set it up was because I was looking for information during the summer holidays, when my kids were on holidays, places to go, things to see, and found that the information was very disjointed. So I said, why not try a Facebook page to see how people will engage and share my photographs and share my ideas when we're out. And 2 years later now, we nearly have 10,000 likes. And I mean, the reach is absolutely phenomenal, and it's all a bit of fun, information, photographs, just basically humour and just positivity about Waterford. And people always ask me, where did I get the name Waterford in Your Pocket? Well, the best thing about it is mobile phones. 75% of people that access Waterford in Your Pocket do so on a mobile phone, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or even the website. It's all to do with mobile phones, so you have Waterford always in your pocket.
And what type of content are people looking for?
They're always looking for places to go, new ideas to visit, snippets of history, culture, music, you name it. I mean, Waterford is so diverse, and if I put up the information, people will just digest that massively.
So not only can people access information on Waterford in Your Pocket, they can also supply material as well.
Exactly. I mean, when you think of it, that's the beauty of social media, that I'm only one person. Now, I do have help from my friends, Shane Kinsler, a friend of mine who designed the website and that, but I need to get information, and as one person, it's very hard to get it. With social media, you can share, but people can also share information with me. And if I have information, I can share that with everybody else, and hopefully they can get out, enjoy, and explore what Waterford has to offer.
So will nationwide filming in Dunmore East now feature on Waterford in Your Pocket?
Prominently, of course, it'll have to.
Okay, looking forward to that, Paul.
Listen, thanks a million.
Well, from the coast to the estuary, I've come to the Faith Lake House Hotel to take part in a guided walk tour. So let's see what's going to happen.
Of our beautiful
Hello, Andrew.
parish area. Hello, Anne.
I'm going to join your group. A bit of a chancer here now.
You're very
I'm sorry I
welcome.
was late, but anyway, we might set on our way. Where do you think we should go?
Yeah, we're just going to do a short walk of the parish of Faith Lake here today. We're going to start here at Faith Lake House Hotel, walk up the driveway, and we're going to head up onto the Minoan, where we're going to have a spectacular view of the east of County Waterford. We'll be looking at Wexford, we'll be looking at Kilkenny, and we'll be looking at the beautiful harbour that flows out to the Atlantic.
So let's go, so.
Okay.
Let's go this way, yeah. Well, you couldn't ask for better weather today, Andrew.
No,
now,
today
what
is
would you
beautiful.
expect to see today?
Well, from here, we're starting at Faith Lake House. We're going to walk up the drive, and obviously the first thing we're going to see will be the gate lodge to the house. The house was built in 1793 by Cornelius Bolton. We're going to turn left and we come down to Faith Lake Church. The church itself, the old church, dates from the 14th century, and it was built by the Norman family, the Aylwards.
And how popular are the walks among the people here? I mean, I know it's something for visitors, but for locals?
Even for locals are very often very interested to come along on a walk and find out a little bit more.
Because it's all about out and about really these days, isn't it? For holidays, people want things to do, places to go to and places to see.
Go and a bit of interest. And people are interested in all manner of stuff. I mean, even the trees and the woods and health, but also conversation, getting to know people and getting to know what life was like, especially in a place like this, a fishing village, huge maritime tradition going back centuries, and there's so many stories to tell.
So what you have here, Andrew, really is it's a mecca, it's a haven for walkers.
We have so many walks on offer, and sometimes you're kind of spoiled for choice and you can get confused by it, but this is one of the woodland walks with spectacular scenery. We have the Hurtle, which brings us over to Passage East.
Right.
You have the Cliff Walk in Dunmore East, easily accessible, only 10 minutes away. And obviously we're right beside Waterford City as well then for guests if they want to go in and see the Viking Triangle.
And is this the highest point for miles around?
We're 300 feet up here now at this point in time, and it's the highest point from where you'll see anywhere else from Cheek Point. And so obviously spectacular views, and this is probably one of our best. So you're right here now, you're on the eastern tip of Waterford, but also of Munster. You're looking across at Leinster as a province. That's Wexford over there.
Right.
Kilkenny is behind us, and this is the three rivers, the Barrow, the Nore and the Suir, flowing out as one into Waterford Harbour.
What a fantastic vantage point.
Stunning.
Yeah, the countryside looks so beautiful today. Aren't we lucky?
Aren't we just blessed?
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed our visit to this beautiful part of County Waterford, and that perhaps we've given you some ideas to whet your appetite if you're in the locality. There really is lots to see and to do here. And so we've come to the end of this evening's Nationwide. We're back again on Friday with another programme. But for now, from the coast of County Waterford, from all of us on the Nationwide team, good evening. On next Friday's Nationwide, the Limerick man whose knowledge of music and of people in the music business is second to none. The Leitrim songwriter who's reaching for the stars, and the young Donegal lady whose magic tricks are the talk of the town.